Hi ladies, my name is Emmy. I'm a division leader out of Ohio, and I wanted to share with you guys what the company calls recruiting. I like to call it something a little bit different. I like to call it sharing the opportunity. I think sharing is a little bit more about the person, and recruiting sounds a lot more for me. So I'm going to go over with you how you can make it more about the person. Then it might seem a little less intimidating, a little bit more about, wow, I can't believe I've never shared the opportunity before. So a couple key things. When you get to a party, I personally just bring one bag of jewelry, and it's however many trays it can fit in one bag. I do use trays. It takes me about 5 minutes to set up, and so I just kind of straighten everything really quick, and then I am freed up to basically start using my time to be able to connect with people, which I immediately start with the hostess. I ask her if there's anything I can do. I ask her how her week has gone. Just some really things that you would ask one of your good girlfriends, you know, that you've just showed up, so that they see that you're not just this jewelry person that is all about to make sales to their friends. You're about a person that actually cares and are appreciative that they've opened up their house to you. So immediately I say, oh, would you like me to grab the door if she's trying to finish up some stuff? I said, I have to give out tickets anyway, so I can greet them, give them their tickets for the giveaway that I'm going to be doing. And usually they say, sure, not a problem. So what I'm going to go over with you guys on is what I say to people as they come in the door. One of the key things that I like to use, I call it the 5-finger rule. And what that means is basically, every person that walks in the door, I need to find out 5 things about them. And it's just kind of my reminder to say, ooh, I only know 3 things as I look at my hand about this particular person. I need to go back to her and find out a little bit more. The more things that you find out about a person, the more you can be connected to them. Again, the more they're not going to just think of you as a jewelry person. They're going to think you of somebody that actually maybe was invited by the hostess per se as another guest, and they just had a chance to get to know you a little bit more. A great story that I heard from a coach was she got on an airplane, and she was sitting next to a gentleman, and that gentleman proceeded to talk. She probably got in 2 words edgewise, but she knew all about his family. She knew how long he'd been at his job, like everything about him. When she got off the plane, her husband was there to greet her, and the gentleman said, oh my goodness, you have just the sweetest, nicest wife ever. You have a gem. You know, she is just an amazing person. And she obviously thanked him for that, and they went on their way. As this coach looked at her husband, she goes, he actually doesn't really know anything about me, but I can tell you everything about his family, his kids, things like that. The thing was, he felt so connected to her because guess what? He got to talk about himself the entire time. And that is honestly what a lot of women feel the same. It's like when they're able to talk and share about themselves, it's kind of like, oh, I got to know that person a little bit better. So with that being said, you've got to make sure that you have some type of checkmate. That's why I have my 5-finger checkmate for myself. So when they're walking through the door, these are some of the example questions that I'm asking them. You know, how long have they lived in the neighborhood if they're a neighbor? Do they have any children? Do they work outside the home? Now, obviously, I'm not just going through my list of questions. I'm trying to cater it into, different questions. So let's say Sally walked through the door. I'm like, hey, Sally, my name's Emmy. I'm actually the jewelry representative tonight. I'm going to give you your tickets. Gives me kind of that takes away that awkward moment of asking them all these different questions, because I give them tickets for RSVPing, for wearing a solid shirt, for wearing a V-neck or a scoop neck. Just the list goes on of different things that I give them extra tickets for. But during that time, I'm like, so how do you know Susie, our hostess? Oh, I've known her since high school. Oh, wow. So do you live close by? Are you within the neighborhood? Do you have kids? Are they close in the same age? Just different conversations that you can kind of get information so when you're talking about the opportunity, you know exactly what is going to impact Sally. So, example, Sally's walked through the door. You found out that she has 3 kids, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and she loves to be a stay-at-home mom. She loves it, the flexibility. She wants to be able to volunteer at her kids' schools. She wants to be able to make her kids, you know, when they get off the bus, their snacks, and be able to have dinner in the oven. So she is one of those ones that, you know, this is exactly where she wants to be in life. But she has a dream. She's always wanted to take her kids to Disney. And so the one thing, you might not know that during the presentation, that she's always wanted that extra money to take her kids to Disney, but you know that she loves being at home. She loves her 3 kids, and that is very important to her. So what I've done is I've established all those things that during my presentation, I've gone over all the perks of the business. And just to make sure I clarify, the first 10 minutes or so, I really don't talk at all about the Lea Sophia. So when everybody is coming through the door, I'm not talking about the jewelry. I'm not talking about the opportunity. I'm not talking about anything Lea Sophia. I am using that time strictly to go over and find out about them. I'm going to be talking to them about Lea Sophia for 30-45 minutes between the presentation and their orders and everything like that, that they're going to be rolling their eyes in the back of their head if I start right when people walk in the door. So make sure you're using that time at the very beginning, that good 10-15 minutes, to really get that time to connect, and you're not really talking about Lea Sophia. But during my presentation, during the opportunity portion, one of the nifty little things that I carry is just a binder, which this one just happened to come in, I think, when they used to give binders in the starter kit a long time ago. And I think you might even still be able to order these binders, but you can use any binder. I take this binder, and during O for Opportunity, I printed off it's the Lea Sophia earnings potential chart. So here it is. This is the potential chart. So of what you can make as an advisor. But one of the key things that I did was, if you don't have anybody that you personally recruited, you might be able to talk to your manager or leader about this, that she probably has, and she just needs to verify with the people that she's going to type up this information. But I use what I call, this is some of my newest starts. When they started, how many shows they had in their first 5 weeks of business, or I have listed here January and February, and I'll upload this doc. How many parties, what their total sales were, and what their commission was. So what they made on average a night. One of my girls made $384.72, and she held 2 shows. So that's what she made per night. So she made almost $700, and she had higher shows. Amy, she held 3 shows, and she made $242 a night. Sarah, she held 1 show in the month of January. She made $283. Keiko is another gal. She held 3 parties in the month of January, and her average show sales was $171. And what I do with this document is I tell them these are brand new advisors. I put their start dates. Like I said, I'll put all this doc on there. But it lets them see visually, wow, these new people made this amount. Maybe I could take my kids to Disney, or maybe I could afford that playset that I want to get in that backyard, or ooh, maybe I could afford that new car that I've always wanted, because this gal worked 3 nights and she made $242 working 3, actually she made almost $900, but she only went out and worked 3 nights. So this kind of gives them a realistic visual as to what they could be making. The other thing I do is I print off my personal paychecks. So I just print it off, and I have them in there from January through now. And whether or not you made $80 that show, or whether or not you made $350 that show. People always say, oh, you're a leader, so obviously your paychecks are bigger. The reason why I print off what my new advisors make is because that is honestly, if I was to say, oh, this is my paychecks, they would look at it and say, oh, you're a leader. I could never make that much going in start. So I'm not even going to consider the opportunity. I really focus on what advisors are making because that's what they're going to make. And honestly, I would say 95% of the time sells them on the opportunity because they see that, ooh, I could go out and work one night and I could be like Sarah, who is brand new, and make $272 for that night. And so that kind of really sets the tone. So if you don't have one of these binders that you can pass around, I would highly recommend making one of those so that you're able to pass that information on. Whatever the newest trip, I had the Vegas brochure in here so that they could kind of see what it took to earn that. So I know they're coming out next month with the new trip, so that's in there. You know, it also has the starter kit flyer in there. I actually put one of the starter kit flyers in each of my lap pads. So during my opportunity, I pull it out. I have everybody pull out the starter kit flyer and I have them open it up because the company made it accordion style, which I think is really neat because it gives the effect that, wow, there is so much that the company is giving them. So they open up this long opportunity and I say, oh my goodness, isn't this awesome? This is over $1,000 worth of jewelry. And right now it's only $149. So those are some of the things that the company gives us as resources to be able to use to our advantage. So I would highly recommend having one of those in each of your, whether or not you just do catalogs, every person when they walk in the door and you hand them that catalog and wish list, you're also handing them that starter kit flyer. A couple other things that when I share about the opportunity, I do look at everybody in the room and I say, okay, I don't know where you guys are at in your life. I know how the opportunity has helped me. But I know for so many women that has joined our company, they think that it has to be a lifetime commitment, and it doesn't. So if you're trying to save for Disney, and let's say you need an extra $1,500 to bank, you know, and you just want to give it a 5-week try, guess what? You can do that with our company. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door asking you for your money back. I say it's a 5-week try. One party a week is what I typically like to get my new starts off. And it's not because I want them to do so many parties as a requirement. I don't know about you guys, but when you see, let's take American Idol, for example. When that person comes in and they're so nervous that first time they're interviewing and they're talking and they're singing in front, you can just tell they're newbies. By the time that they get up on stage that first time, it's like they're just standing there, stage fright, you know, they're just singing, and the judges are really just trying to listen to what that person is trying to get across and try not to pay attention to the nervous person standing there. By the second time that they get up there, it's kind of like they're a little bit more relaxed. They're still nervous. The third time, they're actually kind of moving along with the music. The fourth time, they're actually kind of walking back and forth on stage. The judges are relaxed. The people in the audience are relaxed. They're actually having a great time. They're clapping, they're singing, they're cheering them on. But by the time they get to their fifth time that they're on stage, they're actually even going up to the people that are at the end of the stage, high-fiving them, you know, shaking their hand. The judges are praising them for what a great job that they've done. That's honestly what I tell my new starts. Give it a 5-week shot, but give it a 1 party a week shot. Because honestly, it's going to make you feel comfortable about what you're selling. It's going to make you comfortable about, you know, just being able to get up in front of people. It's going to build your self-confidence. It's going to allow you that after that